People think that if you're chosen, if God has marked you for something big, you're automatically immune to the mess, to the cravings, to the temptations. But what if I told you that some of the most anointed people alive are fighting secret battles with lust behind closed doors? Not because they're weak, but because they're targeted. This isn't about shame. This is about truth. Because you can't heal what you won't admit. Let's talk about the 7 reasons why chosen ones, the spiritually gifted, the destiny carriers, secretly struggle with lust. 1. The enemy attacks what is dangerous. Lust isn't just about sex. It's about distraction. It's about distortion. The enemy knows that if he can get your focus, he can hijack your purpose. And if you're chosen, if you're carrying something sacred, you're not just a threat. You're a target. That desire you feel, that temptation that keeps coming back at your weakest moments, it's not random, it's strategic. The enemy doesn't bother with people going nowhere. He goes after the ones who are on the verge of shaking the kingdom of darkness. Lust is the bait. Distraction is the goal. 2. Spiritual power comes with spiritual pressure. Chosen ones are built different. You feel deeper. You see clearer. You carry more weight. But with that divine weight comes extreme pressure. And if you don't know how to release that pressure in a healthy way, your flesh will try to find a shortcut. Lust becomes the counterfeit comfort, a way to numb the stress, a quick hit of dopamine in a world where your soul constantly feels like it's under siege. But what feels like relief in the moment ends up costing you your peace in the long run. Lust is never just about lust. It's about trying to escape spiritual pressure without spiritual tools. Because many chosen ones were wounded early. You were exposed to things before you had the tools to process them. Maybe it was abuse, maybe it was porn, maybe it was that one night no one ever found out about. But that early exposure, it planted a seed. And now, years later, it's grown into a struggle. Chosen ones often carry deep wounds in secret, trauma that became triggers. And instead of addressing it, you buried it under purpose and ministry and busy. But the wound is still there. And lust? Lust finds the cracks you try to cover, not because you're evil, but because you're still healing. 4. Isolation breeds temptation. Many chosen ones walk alone. You don't feel understood. You don't always have a tribe. You can't just vent to anybody because not everyone can handle your calling. But in that isolation, temptation creeps in. It speaks when no one else is speaking. Lust becomes a false companion, something that feels close when you feel distant from everyone else. But let me say this clearly. Solitude is meant for sanctification, not self-sabotage. Don't confuse the silence of your season for a license to fall into habits that don't align with who you truly are. 5. Lust mimics intimacy but lacks connection. Chosen ones are craving connection, not just romantically, spiritually, emotionally. You want to be seen, known, felt. But lust offers a shortcut, a counterfeit connection. It gives you the illusion of closeness without the reality of covenant. And because you're gifted, your soul is wired for something deeper. But if your heart's hungry and your spirit's tired, your flesh will settle for a quick hit over a real bond. Lust gives you fire without warmth. It leaves you emptier than when you started, because it was never designed to fill the space you're trying to fill. 6. Your flesh remembers what your spirit forgot. Even after the altar, even after the fast, even after the deliverance service, your body still remembers the high. It remembers the patterns. It remembers the thrill. And when your spirit gets tired, your body will try to take the wheel again. That's not because you're not saved. It's because deliverance doesn't delete memory. That's why you need discipline, not just hype, not just guilt. Real, daily, gritty, consistent discipline. Because lust is a liar. And sometimes the lie sounds like comfort, like relief, like escape. But it's always a trap. And you, chosen one, are called to master it, not be mastered by it. 7. Lust is the final test before a higher calling. Here's the real one, the rawest one. Sometimes lust shows up strong right before the breakthrough. It's not a coincidence. It's a last attempt to derail you. You've been climbing, building, healing, and then out of nowhere, the temptations you thought were dead come roaring back, stronger than ever. That's not regression. That's warfare. When God is about to release you into a new level of influence, the enemy sends a storm tailor-made to your past weakness. Not to destroy you, but to see if you're ready. Lust is not just a temptation, it's a test. And passing it often unlocks the very thing you've been praying for.